Okay, so we got the on-call hand and the back pressure. We got the lips, we got your mouth. Now inside that mouth is just as important as putting that call to your lips and what you're doing with your on-call hand. What I've always said, Chris, is that you have your throat and you have the roof of your mouth. And I've always shaped my tongue to start, beginning duck callers to start. I take my tip of my tongue and I put it behind my bottom teeth where my gum line meets my teeth. And then I arch my tongue a little bit to where it's right up against the roof of my mouth like that. So at the beginning of my throat right here, where my throat meets the back of my mouth, that air's traveling up and it's coming into my mouth. It's going up that tongue, down that tongue, through my pierced lips into the call. I'm not puffing my cheeks and allowing that air to escape in different directions. I'm keeping it more directional, over the tongue, down the tongue, into the pierced lips, into that, or through the pierced lips into that call. Does that make sense? Is that kind of how you see it?
It's just like drinking a Coke. I mean, when the Coke comes in, your tongue's down. You're not actually, and it'll come over the top of your tongue and then go down. You're trying to fog a window. You're pushing that air over the top, pushing it into the call. And, you should keep your tongue stationary. Your tongue should stay stationary up against the front of the bottom of your teeth.
While you're doing that with your lips and eating the call like you said before.
Yep.
And your tongue doesn't say, you don't need to move your tongue a lot. When you start to double cut and feed chuckle, you start to tap your tongue a little bit more in different places. A little tiny bit.
Yep.
So with the air pressure now, you're starting it in your diaphragm. A lot of people say, well, how do you utilize your diaphragm? I've always said it's where you have a pump in your stomach. It's like when you're a kid and you had that bike tire and you had that bike pump and you press down on the handle and all of a sudden that tight air would go through that little black hose into your tube in your tire, right?
Right.
So that's kind of what the diaphragm is you picture a mouth around your diaphragm and it bites down, it squeezes that pump down, and that pressurized air escapes and starts traveling up your body through that little black hose into your bike tube, gets to your lungs where it gains more power and momentum, then it gets to your throat where it hits that muscle called the larynx. You said fog a window. Larynx is the muscle that you use to fog that window and write your name in it on a winter day in your mom's car or clean your sunglasses off.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And that's how a hen mallard talks or a coyote howls or an elk bugles, with hot, pressurized air. So now that hot, pressurized air is in your mouth, and that's when it gets over the tongue, through those pierced lips, into the call. It's almost like somebody punches you in your stomach, and then you try to tell me a secret. What would that sound like? You're trying to whisper me a secret. Exactly. And that's how a hen talks. You punch in the stomach and you're trying to tell somebody a secret, but you have no air to do it.
Right.
That's how pressurized that air is.
Right.
And then you manipulate that air with your hand and in your mouth cavity and all of that.
Yeah, and it's pressurized. I mean,
Always
that's what it is.
pressurized air.
A lot of people think you just take a call and just blow straight through it. You don't. You want to pop it. Pressurized air. Boom. Let it go. It's almost like me taking and punching you in the arm. I hit you and I come back.
Turn that call around. Let me hear what it sounds like in the back of the call.
On the back of the call.
Yep, it's perfect.
So it's hard. It's very easy to blow hard. It's very hard to blow soft.
Yep.
Believe it or not. So if you can figure out how to control your air, you'll be a better duck caller.
Control the air from the diaphragm to the lungs to the larynx, where it gets hot, pressurized right there, comes into the mouth through the throat right there, over the tongue, down the tongue, through those pierced lips, into the call, popping it.
Pop, pop, pop. Same thing with a feed call.
Let's get into that next. I want to talk about air pressure and how you manipulate it with your mouth, your lips, and your on-call hand when you start to do things like greeter sequences and feed chuckles and chatters, stuff like that.